Hey everybody, I'm back with another process video for the FelicityJane Creative Media team, and this layout is called the Degas Girl. And recently we were at the Modern Museum in Fort Worth, and I snapped this photo of my little one, and I posted it on YouTube and Facebook, and I had on Instagram and Facebook, and I had so many people comment that she looks like a Degas girl. If you're not familiar with that, there's a sculpture of a 14-year-old dancer by a artist called Edgar Degas. He was a very, very popular artist. And the way that Corinne was sort of positioned there in front of the art that she was looking at kind of was reminiscent of a Degas girl. So I decided to title that and kind of talk a little bit about our day at the museum. So I printed this photo 4x6 in a vertical fashion, and in the FelicityJane Zoe kit, that's what I'm using for this, the last few pieces of the Zoe kit. I got the new kit in today, which I'm really excited to share with you guys here pretty soon. I decided that I'm going to use these journaling cards. Now, I am not a pocket scrapbooker. Every now and then I'll do a pocket layout, but I do like using the pocket cards on my layout, so I thought I would take advantage of that. So I'm creating sort of a layered band going across the top of the layout. Now I grabbed this chipboard letter that's exclusive. Everything's exclusive to FelicityJane kits, and sometimes I will pop in a number to represent her age. So if I forget to put the date, at least I have that number there to remind me of how old she was at that time. So there she is looking at the art, and what I did was I stapled on one of the acetate tabs. It's a black dotted tab, and on the other side I adhered a label that says my favorite. Now what I want to do is add this little banner, this little black and white striped banner, and I'm going to add a bit of foam dots to the back of that banner so that it stands up. I'm going to position that on the middle journaling card, and in a second, or maybe more than a second, I'm going to add some stamping there in the labeled spot in that white journaling card. So there we go. I position that, so that's popped up a little bit of height. Now I'm trying to decide where do I want to put this chipboard 7. Now I think in the first process video that I did using this kit, I explained that the kit was in celebration of the 3rd birthday for FelicityJane. And so this is actually a birthday kit, but I didn't use it for this purpose. So I kind of broke it down and sort of used it for other purposes. So it's very, very versatile. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to that chipboard 7. Excellent quality product there. And then a little bit more adhesive. I had used this heart on a previous layout and decided to not use it on that layout, so I'm going to use it on this one. So it's a yellow polka dot heart. I'm going to put right there and layer it on top of that 7, just to add a bit more layering and dimension there at the top. Now, the kit does include these exclusive little tiny tags, and I will say those are a little bit difficult to work with because they are so little. But I have a striped one, I have one that says happy, a heart, little gingham check there, and then I believe the other one says today. So I'm going to string that up on some of that twine there that came with the little tag set. And I'm going to put a bit of adhesive underneath each of those little tags to adhere them down. Now I kind of waited to use these because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to use them on a layout, but I figured, you know what, let me just go ahead and slap them on to see how I like it. And that's kind of my process. I try it out. If I don't like it, I'll just start all over again. So I tied a knot at the end of each part of the string, both sides of the string. That way the little tags do not fall off, and then I adhered it a little bit more with my tiny attacher. And right now I'm trying to think, do I want to trim those little extra bits off? And I do. So I get my precision scissors and I go ahead and trim those up, and I like how that adds some movement there to the top of the layout. And I'm loving all the colors with the yellow and the black and the white. So now I'm trying to decide what sentiment I want to stamp there on that white card. So I'm going to pull out the Zoe stamp set, and it has some birthday icons, but there is a stamp that I can use for this layout, and it's going to say the cutest because she actually just looks so darling in that picture, just staring at art. We do go to art museums quite often, and we have several here in our area in Fort Worth, well, really in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in general, so we like going whenever we have a spare moment. So now I want to work on the title. Now originally the title was going to say The Degas Girl, but I found through my research when I was trying to remember how to spell Degas that there is actually a book called The Degas Girl, but it has nothing to do with the actual sculpture. And I wanted to make sure that it was representative of the art and not the book. The book is quite an adult novel. I think it's a little bit of erotica when I read a little bit about it, and I thought, well, I don't want to put that title on the layout. So let me just stick with the take the V off the title and just put Degas Girl. So you're going to see me put down some of the exclusive font, the pumpy. It's actually puffy black font, and it's one of my favorites because it's skinny and easy to work with. And now I'm testing out the stamp because I'm using it for the first time, and I love FelicityJane stamps. You don't have to prime the stamp before you use it. It's going to stamp on very well on any project. I'm using some VersaFine and black ink, and I'm going to stamp on Degas, and then the word "the." Now, in any other way, I probably would have left it if it wasn't for the fact that the book was not related to the topic of this layout, because I like the way the title looks with the puffy font, and then the stamping, and then the font again, and I'll probably try that again on another layout, but it'll still look good when I take off the word "the." So before I realize that's not what I want to go ahead and adhere a strip of paper there to the bottom of the layout, just to add a bit of a foundation, because it felt like those elements might possibly fall off the page, at least from my eye's perspective. It won't literally fall off, but that's kind of how it felt from a design standpoint. So I go ahead and I grab some pattern paper from this exclusive kit, and then I want to put a bow there. And there's two bows that come with this kit. There's a die cut bow, and then there's an acrylic bow. And I think that die cut bow there works a little bit better with that solid black. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the bottom. I didn't want to do a whole ton of embellishing on this layout because, again, I want to keep it simple and clean, and really representative of the fact that we went to the Modern Museum, which modern art is very simple and clean in its aesthetic. And so that's kind of how I wanted this layout to be. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that bow right there at the bottom. I think that's just darling. That's beautiful. And so now I'm trying to decide what else do I want to do with this layout as I kind of pat things around. I want to add the journaling. So in the journaling, I talk about Edgar Degas and his sculpture and how that was sort of representative in this picture. At least that's what it reminded people of, was his sculpture, seeing my little girl pose that way. And I talk a little bit about how we enjoy going to the museum and that type of thing is sort of our thing. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to add the date? But before that, I'm figuring, you know what? I should probably add something else to the layout by that bow. So I'm going to take this beautiful floral and Swiss dots pattern paper, and I'm going to cut one of the florals out. And I'm going to justify doing this because there's floral in that journaling card right there to the top left. And so I'm going to bring a little bit of that floral to the bottom. I just wanted a little tiny bit of accent there behind that bow. It's going to serve kind of as an anchor along with that strip of pattern paper. So there we go. The layout is all complete. I love this color. I love that the emphasis is on the photo. That was the whole point. I like creating that custom title using both the stamps and the font that comes with the kit. And I think overall it's very clean and very representative of modern art, in my opinion. All right, for a closer look at this layout, make sure you check out the FelicityJane blog. I think by the time this video goes up, this particular this particular layout should be on the FelicityJane blog, and you can also check out the Victoria Marie blog as well. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Victoria Marie channel. I'll see you guys next time.